In this video, we're going to make the battery holder for the LED flashlight. And the way I'm going to approach this is to go off of a image like this, and I'm going to use a lot of these construction lines. I've only got a subset of the ones that I want to use showing here, but I think for the part down here at the bottom, I'm going to flush it out with construction lines. I don't really absolutely need to, but I think it's a good technique here, and let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to start over here at the origin, and then come down and over and up, and then a vertical line here, and then I'm going to worry about the splines up here. And so that I can get these dimensions correct, I'm going to use some construction lines to set things up. So the red boxed dimensions, remember those are the ones that I've measured with the dial calipers. So those are the only ones that are real, so to speak. So let me show you what I mean. So first I'm going to put a horizontal construction line 0.135 below the origin. So before I even start to, let's see, let me go back to my file here. Before I even start to work on the, or draw the battery holder itself, I want to set up a bunch of construction lines. So I'm going to hit the line tool and then the construction button, and then down here I'm going to make a line, and I'm going to make this 0.135 from the origin. And actually I'm going to make it draw it out a little bit more, and so there's that distance. And now when I come back here, now I've got this horizontal line here marked. So all I need to do is start here at the origin and then come down to that line. I know I'm at 1.35. I know I could just attach the dimension as I'm doing it, but I want to be a little more systematic. Okay, I also know that I go 0.832 over, so I'm going to put another line, construction line, right here to at a distance 0.832 from the origin, so that I know how far to go in this direction. So let's do that, 0.832. Put a construction line vertical, and I need to specify it at distance, and it is 0.832. Okay. And now, what's the next thing that I measured? Well, it is this distance here. This distance right here. So I'm going to put, I guess I'm up to this point here, I'm going to put a horizontal construction line right there at a distance 0.364 from that point, but I guess I don't know that point yet, but I know it's 0.135 plus 0.364, so let me be careful on that one. It looks like it's 0.364 above the axis here, which is running along here. So I'll go to line, construction line, and I'm going to come along here, and let's see if I can go from here to the origin, or the axis, and that was 0.364. 0.364. Okay, I'm just putting in these construction lines to represent dimensions that I know are true because I measured them. And the next one then would be 0.535 for, that represents the distance that I measured right here. This is getting pretty cluttered up, I know, but with the dial calipers I could measure that distance there, and that's what the 535 represents, is that distance there. So I want to pin that down on my sketch. So another line, construction, it's a little bit higher up. And that one is going to be 0.535 from the bottom here. Let's see. From here to here, 0.535, 0.535. Okay, and then the next one is this one. That's the next measurement that I know to be true, and that was done by putting the dial calipers right here. So it's 0.605. It's a little higher, 0.605. So I'm going to make another one up here. From here to here is 0.605, 0.605. Okay. Now I think I have everything I need, actually almost everything I need, to start drawing in the actual sketch of the battery holder, but I want a couple more. So I want this one here, let me erase a few things here. I want to put in a line right here which bisects the part, because I'm going to use a mirror after I finish this spline here. Right here I'm going to mirror it over. So I need to have this midpoint line. So let me put that one in. And that one, I think, actually let me go ahead and start to draw the piece, and then we'll put that in. So I'm going to start here. I come down there to there, to there, to there, and then I know how far to go up because it's the intersection right there. Okay? Now, going back to my drawing, I know I have a 45-degree angle. I've already set the 0.135 distance because I went to the construction line from the origin, so I just need to set that angle. So let's do that. So from here to here, 45. And now I'm going to use a geometric constraint, the equal up here. I know that these two lines are equal in orientation and length, so I can just press the equal button there. And now I think I have everything completed with the bottom there. So let me put some of these dimensions a little closer so we can kind of see them as we're working here. And okay. So now what I want to do is put in that bisector here. So I'm going to go line, construction, find the center there. It popped with the yellow box. Go straight up. And that's my bisector. Now I want to bisect that distance, right? Because I want to have my curved part come up here like this. So to do that, I'm going to make another construction line over here. I don't have any easy way out to do that. So I'm just going to make a vertical line there. Then I'm going to use the this tool here called the Symmetric Tool. So if I click on the Symmetric Tool and then click on this line, and then these two lines that surround it, and you can see it centers it. It makes it symmetric from within, from those two other lines. Okay? So I didn't measure these distances. I'm just going to assume that that it's symmetric, and also that the hump here is symmetric on the quarter, right hand side of the half here, and then it goes a quarter and a quarter. Okay, so now I need to make my spline. And splines are very interesting. They can be very complicated, but they allow you to have an arc which has a different radius of curvature in different locations on the arc. So I don't want to use a regular old like 3-point arc to go from here to here, because there's different curvatures over here. So what I want to do is I want to go from this point here up to this point, I believe. Yep, that one. By way of this point, and again, I know that because I measured those distances. And I want to use the simplest spline that I can. So I'm going to come to the spline here, and I'm going to pin it down. Let's see, right at the edge here. I'm going to go there. And then I'm going to go up here, make a coincident constraint with that intersection. I'm going to click there just once, and then I'm going to click over here, right there, double click. Okay, so that's my spline. Now, with a spline, to fully constrain it, you need to specify the coordinates, and we've kind of gone a long way to doing that. So there's a center coordinate here, and left and a right, and there's these little handles here, they're called. And if you move the handles around, you can see what it does to the spline. So you can see how this could get pretty complicated. What I'm going to do, well, let's do this. So I need to set the slope and location of these handles here. And a lot of times I don't really have a number that I want to give it. It's just what looks right. But on the left hand side here I do. So what I want to do here is I want to make things horizontal here. So the spline I want to come in and be horizontal here, so that when I mirror it, it remains horizontal for a little bit, and then it makes the other hump. So to do that, I'm going to use a horizontal constraint on this guy. This line here. You can put a construction line on these lines, which automatically exist on splines, just to see it a little better maybe. Maybe that's good practice. So if I go to horizontal geometric constraint, click here, you can see it flattens it out. And so the slope here is 0 of the green line, of the blue line. But I can still move it to a certain extent. You can see how this is kind of quite fussy. You got to be kind of careful to keep it well behaved. Okay. Now, so here for this guy, and let me put another construction line here. This line, I really don't have any specific angle that I want to use there. I just want to make it look close to my something like this. So it looks like this comes out at, just some sort of, maybe a little less than 45 degrees. And so maybe something like that. But to begin to fully constrain this thing, I do need to plop down coordinates on that. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to bring it up a little bit like that, because I don't want it to dip in. Whoops. I don't want it to sort of have, look like that. I want it to be sort of like that. Okay, so what I need to do here is just put in coordinates, just define the coordinates of that handle. I don't care what these are, so I'm just taking whatever they give me. I want to make just to get my spline to turn black. So we've got the coordinates of the handle over here. We've got one of the coordinates of the handle here. It's on this line, but we want to have, let's see, would it be like this? From here to here? Or is that already taken care of with the, okay. Okay, so there it goes black. So what we've got here is we pinned the corners, because they were already pinned when we set up the all these construction lines. That was the whole purpose of those. We pinned this point here at this intersection, and then we pinned the characteristics of each of the handles, and that made it turn black. So that's good. That's what we want. Let's see how that looks. Okay. So that was a lot of work to get a curve, and so let's use the mirror command. So here's the mirror command. Select the mirror line, this one. Select the item to be mirrored there, and there it comes over there. And now I can just come home here to close that loop, and it turns gray, which means it's a fully enclosed loop. So this is a technique actually is pretty common, using this technique of scaffolding out your whole sketch prior to actually drawing the thing you're drawing, to do that with all these construction lines, and then just use those construction lines to guide everything. So with that, I'm going to accept the sketch, and let's see, and then I'm going to extrude the other way. I think it was 0.01. I'm going to accept that, and I think I have a reasonable representation of that, the top of the right there, of the battery holder. Okay, so don't forget to rename your part. So this is battery holder. I forgot what I told you guys to name it, but we'll just call it that. And in Part Studio, rename battery holder. And then for the rest of it, this complex part, we'll pick that up on a second video. So thanks for watching.